Yo, what's going on guys? It's Anime One back here with another video, and today I'm here with another part of What If Naruto Was Neglected and ended up like Obito. If you guys like the content in the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also like this video. So let's begin the video. There was a strolling vortex in an unknown place. Debris are around everywhere. Buildings destroyed, with a swirl symbol notable everywhere. Naruto appeared out of his kamui and looked around. He didn't have any problem entering this place, since it had the barrier around it till this day. After all, he was a half Uzumaki, but for the work that he needed to do, he needed a full Uzumaki to perform the jutsu. And just like that, he started walking towards the location that he needed to go. A shrine that was still standing, surprisingly. He entered the shrine and found what he needed. A scroll that, even with his mangekyo, he could not read. So, in a swirling vortex, Kushina came out of his right eye. Kushina glared at Naruto as he, with his orange mask, was just looking at her, and his single Sharingan looking at her with pretty much no interest. You know why you have came out, so get on with it, said Naruto. Kushina glared at the masked man. And what makes you think that I'll obey you, you heartless monster? Do you really think I'll let you come in contact with the Shinigami? She says. Naruto again looked at her. If you don't, I'll just make you do it. He then grabbed her by the hair and pulled her up to his eye level. Kushina winced as her head was hurting because he was pulling her hair so hard. Now obey, pet, Naruto said as his Sharingan started to spin, and a Sharingan appeared in Kushina's eyes as her eyes became dull and her face became emotionless. As he nodded, Naruto pretty much freed her of all of her constraints of chakra seals and a rope around her legs and arms, as Kushina went through the scroll and nodded and went through hand signs and slammed her hand into the ground. In a poof of black smoke, a ceiling arrow appeared, and around there was 4 corners and 1 big circle at the middle. Kushina looked at the masked man. We need 4 sacrifices in total to do this, she said. The masked man nodded as in a strolling vortex, 4 shinobis came out, and they were not shinobis, samurais. I left some of them alive just in case the Shinigami needs some sacrifices, but I've given something more precious to him that he will not be able to deny my offer in exchange for some information. Naruto thought, but he settled for those 4 samurais who were still under his genjutsu, and they all went around each corner of the ceiling area. As Kushina went through hand sign and slammed her hand in the ground again. Summoning Reaper Death, she said, as a chilling aura filled around the room, and a little bit of smoke mist covered the area as the room temperature dropped several degrees. And slowly, in some mist, a figure started forming, his white robes flowing in the air and his demonic looking eyes looking at Kushina. Then his eyes landed on Naruto. You summoned me, and these 4 sacrifices, you took it to summon me. What do you desire, mortal? Said the Shinigami as he looked at Kushina. She just pointed her finger at Naruto. I summoned you, but he's the one who desires information, she asked, as the Shinigami looked at Naruto and narrowed his eyes. Uzumaki Naruto, I presume. Asked the Shinigami. Naruto widened his eyes a little under his mask. Don't widen your eyes and be shocked, mortal. I am the dead god himself. I know everything that happens in this world, and I know who are you under that mask, and that this woman is your mother, and the fourth is your father. Isn't that right? And your goals, those are unspecific, even to me. You never said them out loud, and because of that, I was never able to grasp your true goal. Uzumaki, Naruto, said the Shinigami as he looked at Naruto. Naruto simply looked at the Shinigami. Cunning one, aren't you? My goals. That means you know the infinite Tsukuyomi is not my true goal, is it? Said Naruto as the Shinigami nodded. Yes, you did because of that little experiment that you did. I do think it's not. But what information do you desire from me? Asked the Shinigami, and I will only answer one question. That's the deal. Said the Shinigami again, as Naruto nodded. Very well then. Tell me, what is the infinite Tsukuyomi exactly? Who was the first one to cast that jutsu upon the world? It's not like the sage of the six paths might wrote the jutsu in the tablet just because he wanted to. He must have saw it somewhere, didn't he? And who is Black Zetsu exactly? My grandfather didn't have enough of the mastery of light and shadow release to create a being from scratch in existence. On top of that, he was extremely old. That's impossible. These are the two answers that I want. Naruto said. Shinigami looked at him again. I said only one question. Uzumaki Naruto, and yet you asked two. If you want the answer to both of your questions, I need more sacrifices, more souls, said the Shinigami. Naruto chuckled. Shinigami, the Reaper, Death God, you say you know everything, and yet you're looking at me with no fear, even when you know I have this under my back, don't you? Said Naruto. The Shinigami chuckled. You are a very interesting mortal. Uzumaki, no, you have discarded that name. Uchiha Naruto, said the Shinigami. Very well then, as long as you hold your bargain of the deal, I'll answer your questions. But before that, give me the souls of all those Minashi clan members that you killed, and I'll answer all of your questions. Is that the done deal? Said the Shinigami. Naruto nodded as he pulled out his hand, and out of that came a blue ball of energy. The Shinigami looked at it. Souls of over 19,000 shinobi in that one single hand. Your Rinnegan mastery is even more impressive than Madara in his time did. Your Rinnegan mastery is only matched by the man of legends, Hagoromo Tsutsuki himself, said the Shinigami as Naruto looked at him. The Rinnegan, it took some time for me to acquire it, but due to me having all three of the bloodlines of the sage had, the Uzumaki, Senju, and the Uchiha, I was able to unlock it much faster than my grandfather, who only had two bloodlines within him. But that's outside of the topic. Answer my question, Death God, since I've given you what you needed. Said Naruto as Shinigami nodded. I don't go back on my word, mortal. Not like any other people. Very well, I'll answer a question. Answer to the first question. of what is the infinite Tsukuyomi and how did Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the Shades of the Six Paths, figure it out. So let me start. The Sage of the Six Paths was a twin with another brother of his. His name was Hagoromo Otsutsuki, and they both had a mother, the progenitor of chakra in this planet. Her name was Kaguya Otsutsuki. So, guys, I'm giving a little bit of history lesson since I'm gonna change a lot of things since I specifically don't like the Otsutsuki or alien shit that happened in Boruto. I specifically don't dislike Boruto, but I just think like maybe they should have, explained a little bit more. But I'm gonna change all of that and just make it within Earth. Kaguya is not an alien, so yeah, let's get on with it. The Shinigami saw her to speak again. Yes, her name was Kaguya Otsutsuki, and she was just an ordinary woman, a princess of a very noble clan in the times of war. And she fell in love with a man of the opposition. But everyone realized that in the earth there was a tree that provided every kind of nutrition that people needed, but in return, whoever lived near that tree, it drained their life. And that tree was the God tree. Soon, the God tree was absorbing all the life force from Earth. In simple languages, whoever died and their energy simply went to the God tree, and that energy was converted into chakra. Do you have any idea how many humans have died even in that time? Let me tell you, the number cannot be counted. And because of that, the tree gained an uncountable number of chakra, and which cannot be measured. And it soon gained a consciousness of its own and formed a chakra fruit. While that was happening, the clans of Kaguya and the man that she fell in love with found out about the relationship and hunted them both down. While that was happening, Kaguya was pregnant, and while she was being hunted down, she stumbled upon the God tree and ate the chakra fruit of the God tree and gained very strange powers. And that was how chakra came to be as it existed. And since Kaguya was losing her mind due to having so much chakra, she activated a strange jutsu by using her Rinne's Sharingan to reflect upon the moon, the infinite Tsukuyomi. By doing so, she placed everyone under a genjutsu, and hence turning everyone into white zetsu for as her personal army if anyone rebelled against her. As I said, she didn't convert all the people into white zetsus. That was not the case. To convert a people into white zetsu, you need time, and Kaguya didn't have that. She needed an Iron Fist rule, but it at least takes 50 years for a white zetsu to be formed, and because of that, before she could create her army, Hagoromo and Hamura got a hang of it and started fighting their mother to stop her from completely destroying humanity and seal their way. In her desperation, Kaguya wanted to leave something behind so that one day she could get resurrected, and that being is Black Zetsu. The second question answered in that. Black Zetsu is a spawn of Kaguya that simply wants to revive his quote-unquote mother. Is nothing more, nothing less. Naruto looked at his Shinigami, confused. He understood pretty much everything, but one thing confused him. If you say as Kaguya was strong as he was, then even the Sage of the Six Paths needed help to defeat her. Why did she create the army just to oppose or kill the humans that opposed her. Why did you do that? That doesn't make any sense. So asked Naruto again. Shinigami just looked at him. As I said, Kaguya was not stable. She had too much power and that made her unstable and get the power to her head. As I said, both of her sons gained their power of the ability to wield chakra, and due to that, as soon as they betrayed her, she wanted to kill her own sons. Do you understand that statement by itself, Uzumaki Naruto? No matter how much her mother might hate their child, unlike yours, they will never be able to kill it. If Kushina, just like in your case, if Kushina really wanted to kill you, she would have, but something inside her stopped her from doing it. That was her motherly instincts, but Kaguya didn't have that. She was not hesitating to kill both of her sons. And let me tell you a fact. Hagoromo Tsuki actually had to kill his brother in order to obtain his Rinnegan. Unlike you, who obtained it through natural means, he needed to kill his little brother. But his little brother got revived afterwards, and they sealed their mother into the moon. I'm pretty sure you have heard of that, said the Shinigami. Naruto nodded, dumbfounded. Then a portal appeared beside Naruto as he pulled out a sword. Said the Shinigami, as Naruto nodded. This is the same sword that is said to be created by the Sage of the Six Paths. The sword that I stole from the Imanashu clan. The sword that I killed so many people for. Now, my next question is, how do I exactly obtain the power of the Six Paths without becoming a Ten-Tails Jinchuriki? Shinigami looked at Naruto. Without becoming the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki, you say? You want to obtain the Six Paths power, I presume the Six Paths Senjutsu, since you already have the other part of it, said the Shinigami. Naruto nodded. Yes, precisely. Naruto answered back as the Shinigami nodded. Well, no matter who you are, even the Sage of the Six Paths needed a fraction of all the Nine-Tailed Beast powers that he got from Kaguya herself in order to obtain Six Paths power. And Senjutsu, well, he just trained for it. But if you don't want to train for it, there is another way to obtain Senjutsu power. Well, that is, Shinigami said, as Naruto started listening, and the more he listened, his eyes widened more. So, that's the way, huh? So, what you're telling me is I need a bit, only a fraction, of the chakra of all the tail beasts and Senjutsu source. That should be enough. Is that what you're saying, Shinigami? Naruto said, and the Shinigami nodded. But Shinigami was also curious about something. Answer me, mortal. Why don't you want the power of the Jubi? You know, you are very close to it, and Menma Uzumaki should not be much of trouble to you for capture. And Killer Bee, well, I think the same of him. So why don't you want to become the Jinchuriki of the Jubi? That'll be much more convenient and you'll be much more powerful, rather than obtaining Six Paths chakra the way I told you, said the Shinigami. Naruto simply looked away. You could say it's a part of my plan. I want the tailed beasts gone from this reality, or at least from humans' grasp. Without them, it'll be much more fun, don't you think? The power balance the tail beasts are ones. The nations keep are in check because they know anyone has the power of the tail beast and they could be unleashed anytime they wanted. If the QB was released upon any of the villages, they would release their own tail beast upon the other one, and the both of the villages would be destroyed. But if we had no tail beast, then what? Said Naruto. You're trying to bring out the true natures of the humans. Is that what you're trying to do? Uzumaki Naruto, said the Shinigami. Naruto shrugged. Somehow, that's only a part of it. But what I want is to undo the wrongings of the Sage of the Six Paths. He gave humans chakra, and that was his biggest downfall. No matter how you look at it, giving humans power to do anything they want because of chakra was just plain stupid, but cannot undo what the Sage did. So I'll just do the second closest thing that I can to it. Said Naruto, the Shinigami widened his eyes in realization, as he knew now exactly what the boy's plan was. You are a wicked one, a cruel bastard, aren't you, Naruto Uchiha? You will bring a change to the world that no one has ever seen. And from what I can see, it'll be for the good or for the worst. You're taking the gambling just like the sage did. Either this will set humanity into an unwavering cycle of war or to internal peace. Just taking a gamble like that fool Hagoromo. But your way might actually work. You're not giving humans any kind of power, rather taking it from them. Isn't that right? Shinigami said, as Naruto simply chuckled. Well, you're correct about that. Huh. Well, that's all the information I needed, Death God. If you want, you can take your leave. Or do you want to ask some more questions to me in return as well? Said Naruto as he looked at Shinigami. Well, what are you gonna do with that woman? Said Shinigami, pointing at Kushina. See, I'll send her back to Konoha. She has to play a vital role in my plans in the future. She needs to be there for the war that's about to happen. I need all the strong shinobis to be against me so that I can break their will so bad that they will never be able to stand up against me ever again. Said Naruto as he slowly started disappearing in a strolling vortex, and along with him, Kushina was getting sucked in the strolling vortex as well. The Shinigami just looked at the place that both of Kushina and Naruto stood at, and a small smirk, no, a biggest grin that the Shinigami could muster, came on his face. This is gonna be interesting. You are an interesting mortal, Uchiha Naruto. Again, Naruto appeared in his hideout in a strolling vortex. Kushina was still inside his Kamui dimension. He would just deliver her to the Leaf Village when he felt like it. But suddenly he blacked out, and he opened his mind to see himself in a sewer. He looked around when he heard a voice. Over here, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto turned around to see the man. I was wondering when I would meet you, Hagoromo Tsutsuki, or should I say, the Sage of the Six Paths, said Naruto as he looked at the man that was in front of him, floating just looking at him. So, you pretty much planned this, didn't you? You knew that due to the Shinigami, I would contact you because you created a link between the living and the dead. Isn't that right? Said Hagoromo as you looked at Naruto, who nodded. Well, I did want to talk to you, but certainly this was not my plan. I had some other plans to talk to you, but this is how it goes then. So, what do you want from me, Hagoromo? Said Naruto as he looked at the sage. Well, stop what you're trying to do. If that's what I could have said, I would. Said Hagoromo as he looked at Naruto. But what you're doing is not exactly right. You're taking the same gamble that I did thousands of years ago. Do you really think this will work? Said Hagoromo as he looked at Naruto. Naruto shrugged. I have no idea. It's upon humanity. Will they submit or will they go to war? That's their choice. With you, you simply did a foolish thing. You knew humanity was go to war with each other. You even didn't try to create peace with humanity before giving them chakra. Hatred is something that cannot be comprehended, Hagoromo. If you give power to someone who bears hatred towards other, you'll kill them. And if you simply gave the same power to the other party, they will try to get revenge as well. It's an unending cycle. And what you did was to simply magnify the scales of wars that happened over the years. That's all that happens. Same goes with Hashirama. He might have tried to do what was good, but only was he increased the scales of the battle. Well, I do admit that children don't have to go to war when they're at the age of 5 or 6. That's the only good thing that has happened over this few millennia after you died. Both of your sons were such a disappointment. Won't you agree? Said Naruto as Hagoromo looked at him. Very well then, Uzumaki Naruto. I will not grant you the power that you need, but I'll tell you the way in which you can obtain the six paths Senjutsu's power, which I gave to Ashura, and because of that, you will become as strong as the 10-tailed Jinchuriki without having the tail beast itself. Said Hagoromo as Naruto's ears perked up. Now you have my interest. Speak, said Naruto as the sage started to speak. Meanwhile, Suki was training in her Black Lightning and her internal Mangekyo Sharingan. And to be surprised, she was getting pretty good at it. Her Susanoo could now spawn legs and she could fire off the crossbows in a pretty high pace of speed. Not to mention, in this past 3 weeks, she had completely mastered the Black Lightning and was currently working on a cloak that the masked man had told her to work at. A cloak of Black Lightning around her body, which would make her incredibly fast and her reaction speed, even with the Mangekyo, even faster. He told her that's how his reaction speed was even faster than Minato's. That's how he was able to completely destroy all of 5 of those shinobis at the same time. She sort of didn't believe at that at first, but after experiencing it over her, the Black Lightning cloak for herself, she knew what he was saying was true. Even with her EMS, she wasn't as fast as the Raikage or anyone, but with this Black Lightning cloak and her EMS, she was sure that she was ready to kill that sly bastard Danzo and destroy Konoha. She thought, with a psychotic smirk appearing on her face. Black Zetsu was watching the entire scene of Suki training because simply Naruto had told him to keep an eye out on her because he didn't want her to escape. And right now, that was exactly what he was doing. And her training was complete. He needed to tell Naruto this news.